This video is a short summary and synthesis of the research by Joe Kirby at his blog Pragmatic Reform, where he blogs about all things educational. We all want our students to remember the content that we teach, and we're wondering how can quizzing help students learn? It turns out that frequent quizzing prevents forgetting. In Joe Kirby's meta-analysis of this quizzing, repeated retrieval, it turns out, improves the long-term retention of concepts that have been covered and learned in courses in schools. We all employ different strategies for learning the material that we're presenting in a course. All kinds of different strategies are needed to meet the learning needs of all of our students. But simply including one test for retrieval practice in a class yields a large improvement in final exam scores, and those gains continue to increase as the frequency of the testing or quizzing increases. The benefits of quizzing for memory retention are long-lasting. In virtually all areas of learning, you build better mastery of content and material when you use testing as a tool for learning rather than as an assessment of learning. And one of the best habits to instill in students and learners is by teaching them to do regular self-quizzing. And this puts them in charge of their own learning. Traditionally, classes in schools tend to see a mismatch between what teachers and students do and what the science suggests is the best for the learning. We would say that schools would teach a unit of study and then have an assessment of that unit of study. What the science suggests is that we would have a unit of study and the frequent quizzing would be cumulative, and that would increase the memory and retention of our learning. Here's a visual to help you imagine how to redesign a Year 7 curriculum for retrieval practice with different kinds of assessments built in. Rolling forward each successive quiz questions on work from the previous unit. Designing these quizzes reaching back to concepts and learning covered earlier in the term so that this retrieval practice of content and learning continues, and then that learning is cumulative. So what's the best kind of format to use for tests or quizzes? Well, the research would suggest that multiple choice is just as good and very efficient in doing so. Testing and quizzing, again, interrupts forgetting. Frequent low-stakes quizzes in class help the instructor verify that students are in fact learning as well as they appear to be and reveal the areas where that extra attention is needed. Effortful retrieval makes for stronger learning and retention, and that's the goal in all of our learning. So how can a quiz help? Well, a quiz can help us remember content and curriculum moving hand in hand.